No?
video?
No, you see I'm starting recording. Okay, so right here, I'm going to show an example on how to record. Okay, I'm not going to edit this video at all. We're just going to talk, and I'm just going to post the video as it is.
Okay.
This is how you can do your videos. Let that sink in. I mean, I have the microphone because, I do video stuff. That's why I have a microphone. You don't have to have a microphone. If it's too windy, get to somewhere that's not too windy so you can hear what you're talking to the camera, right? So, that aside, I got you here today because I wanted to talk about relationships. Because for some reason, I know that, I've been in a lot of relationships, right? Specifically, we want to talk about romantic relationships. We want to give some insights. We want to give a little bit about, what we learned through the relationships we had. Right? You have a girlfriend right now. I'm married and have a wife. We are a year into marriage, a year and a half into our marriage. Then what have I learned, right? From seasons to seasons. And people who, generally younger people, I'm 25, he's 17. So you get this, you get two perspectives, right? We're not exactly the same age in the same time era, but I'm a little bit ahead of Richard in season of life. So what I'm about to share, what he's about to share, is going to benefit whoever is younger, who is same age, who's currently in school, who's currently dating, who's currently single, right? I think it's going to be beneficial for all of those people, right? And it's because I've been in so many bad relationships that I came to treasure the good ones. That's the summary of how I feel about relationships in general. But when it comes to romantic relationships, it is very difficult to what's the word? Would you say you grew up in the church?
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't grow up in a church. I didn't grow up in a church, so my perception of a romantic relationship is if you have a hormone, and then if you feel attracted to someone physically, then you start there. Okay, which I learned later on that's never the best place to start a romantic relationship. Amen to that?
Yeah, amen to that.
Okay. So, what in your perspective, growing up as in the church, right? How were you taught to handle romantic relationships?
I'd say like being friends first.
Okay. But that could be, bro.
Well,
that's how people say too. You can be friend with the person you like. But what does that? Is that what the church had taught you?
Well, what it kind of taught me is like you need to understand the person as a person and his or her relationship to Christ, how they view life, and their future plans on whether their future plan is aligned with God and aligned with yours.
Let me just make this clear. If someone who doesn't have a relationship with Christ, who's watching this video, then you probably want to get to know Jesus first. Because the reason why is because he invented relationship. He invented love.
He is love.
And he is love, right? So you want to learn how to work a machine from the instruction, right? So you want to learn from the maker of this relationship, and he had written an instruction, which is the Bible. To me, that's the best relationship instruction. And that's coming from me, who never grew up in a church, but later on became Christian. Right?
I wouldn't necessarily say that I grew up in a church, only because like we went to church, but like a lot of times there were times where I was like, in one ear out the other kind of thing, until I think once I got into my first relationship was kind of after my first relationship was kind of where I realized more about the Lord and how a relationship is supposed to go.
You know what? I'm gonna move. Where's my keys?
Is it in your pocket?
These people out here acting like they are. What's the right word here? Help me to find the right word.
Thugs.
I was gonna say something along the lines of a little bit more of what people might consider offensive, but I'm gonna hold my tongue.
All right. But like I'd say, like now like with the experience that I've had, like being equally yoked.
Okay, break me down. What does equally yoked mean?
Kind of like aligning your relationship to Christ, and bringing that into your relationship, like.
Do you know what?
Like praying for each other, having devotions together and by yourself, and continuing having each other encourage each other to have that relationship with Christ by themselves.
Now, can you break down the term equally yoked?
No.
Let me break it down.
Okay,
so equally yoked. Yoke is used in the olden times for farm, right? So what yoke is, two ox or bulls or cows, whatever. You put yoke on top of their shoulder so they can carry whatever is digging the ground. So there's two cows, one yoke. Okay, they're in generally similar size, right? Similar in strength, all of that, right? So they can share, so the yoke can be straight, can be balanced, right? So that's why the phrase equally yoked is used. You want to be compatible with the other person. I'm not talking about physically. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about spiritually. Are you equally yoked? And that's what Jesus is talking about, right? Physical stuff, it's easy. You can be compatible with the person 100%. But the difficult part is understanding where they stand, in this case with God, right? What they know, what their worldview is. You said what their relationship with God is. And they can be a new Christian, you can be grew up in the church. Then if you date that person, then you're unequally yoked, right? That's an example. Because the young Christian has a different walk with Jesus versus you, an older Christian who knows what the Bible is, right? Make sense?
Yeah.
Is that what you were saying also?
Yeah. I think like.
Anything else you've learned? That is different. Okay,
people,
so because you go to public school.
Yeah.
And you've seen how people date in public school.
Yeah. People in this generation change the word love to lust.
Yes.
So, like now what people say or call love nowadays is all. It's all like, oh, I've had sex with, or like that's what they look forward to. But then.
And let me just explain, because we got some young people in here. Lust means
sexual thought.
Yeah, actually, how do I don't know the.
Lust is like.
I don't know the dictionary definition, but it's a perverted. A perverted romantic relation or feeling. That's how I would describe it. Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Wild Richards is looking it up.
Intense sexual desire.
Yeah, okay, so it's all physical. It's all feelings, right? That's what the world will teach you. That's what everybody else around you will do in school, because this feels good, this doesn't feel good. I feel like I like this guy, I feel like I like this girl, I feel like, it's all that. So it's very surface level. There's nothing deeper than that. But that's not God's design for relationship.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And that was my experience before I knew Jesus, before I became a Christian, right? Because people would just that girl looks pretty. Let me go get her number, and then let me go hit her up. So see if we can get in a relationship. And then the criteria of you finding someone, like, are they physically attractive? Are they successful? Are they, all of these stereotype or these expectations that the world has introduced to me was broken down after I got to know Jesus. Because the most important thing is, does this person even know Jesus? Does this person even have the same worldview with you, on the same level of understanding? Bro, these airplanes, I swear to God. I'm out here trying to scream.
So like in ninth grade was like my first time ever like asking out a girl. And like, you're nervous or whatever, so like I was nervous. I was like, I made a letter, and like the girl that I'm dating now was the same girl I had a crush on in ninth grade. It was like my first ever like person I've ever asked out in my whole entire life. And I got rejected. But like when I first liked her, or it was like the second day of school, she didn't go to the first day of school, and she walked in with a complete smile on her face, was like unfazed by coming late to class on the first day of high school. And like I kind of like, she looks cute, and like that's because my walk in Christ wasn't that strong when it came to relationship, because I never really knew the real meaning of love. You know what I mean? I never knew what lust was either, though. So I was like, this girl is pretty, I want to get to know her. And so I asked her out and got rejected. But the weird part about it is, like, nowadays people are afraid to get friend zoned and are afraid of rejection. I became this girl's friend for 2 years and did not mind, because I told myself, at first I told myself, I was like, oh, we're basically dating, just you don't know it. I get to hang out with her, which in reality, that's what you should want in a relationship, is to hang out with the person that you love without having to show that physical touch. Without having to hold that girl's hand or hold that guy's hand. Like, just hanging out with them, you find that love in your heart. And like, that's how I felt. That's why I became her friend and had no problem being friends on. I got rejected a total of 8 times in 9th and 10th grade by that same girl. And like, once, I remember there's this one time, I was in 10th grade, and a girl asked me out. Not very pretty, but I'm not gonna say names. But I've never had a girl ask me out before, so I guess there's like that temptation or whatever, or excitement. Like, oh, girls never asked me out before, maybe this could be the one. Someone asked me out. And so of course I said yes. And the girl that I liked, the girl that I'm dating now, the girl that I had a crush on, she warned me. Like, she you could see like her fruit and how close she was with God from the start. Like, without even having to ask her if she's religious, you can already see it. And she told me not to date her. And I still did. I got mad. I got jealous. I was like, how are you gonna like reject me and then tell me who I can and cannot date? And in the end, I should have listened, because one, that was my best friend, and I knew like she was only looking out for my best interest. And she was mad at me when she first found out that we were dating. She didn't talk to me at all, and only to realize like that other girl that I was dating had such a little relationship to Christ, and that relationship ended within less than a month, because there was nothing about the Lord in that relationship. And looking back at it now, like the only relationship that is stable is my relationship now, because the Lord was introduced into it. And the reason why, like, yeah, I started dating, and the girl that I'm dating now.
Wait, before you move on, let me just explain this concept of seasons, okay, in the video. So, a lot of people will be like, oh, I mean, I can be single, you can be dating, and then I can be married. So these are called seasons, right? I call them seasons. Season of life. For one season of life, you can be single. For one season of life, you can be dating, actively looking for someone. And then you can be married, you can have family, have kids, and then you move on to other seasons of life, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, whoever's watching also, you can look it up. But I know that the Bible didn't mention particularly a season about dating.
He didn't. Only marriage.
Yeah, so dating is actually not a biblical idea. Again, if I'm wrong, correct me. But I don't think the Bible says anything about dating. Dating is something that we made up, that we can't 100% commit to a relationship. So we want to test this out. Right?
Like trust issue.
Or commitment issues.
Commitment and trust, yeah.
Or you just don't know this person enough, but I want to pursue something with you. Then let's enter this process called dating, and let's find out if we really like each other or not. Oftentimes, people go too far in dating. They skip a couple of seasons. They ended up with kids. They ended up with all kinds of emotional baggage at the end of the day.
And they're not married.
Yeah, and then they're not married, right? So it's common that people, that's how I'm introducing you this view of you looking at relationship through the lens of the Bible, right? It's not that you can't date. You probably should date. You probably, if you don't know someone, you probably should get to know them. But you don't have to necessarily call this season dating. You can get to know them as a friend, like what Richard did, right? You can get to know this person as a friend, find out what you like about each other or not, find out if you can hang out with this person or not. Because once you commit to this relationship, all you have to do is to hang out with the other person. And then trust me, you're gonna hang out with this person 6 days out of 7 days in a week. And if you can't do that for an hour, hang out with this person, then you should not be in a relationship with this person. You need to get to know this person before you can commit to anything. And by the way, when we talk about this, we probably are talking mostly to guys, right?
Yeah.
Some of the young boys out here watching. I mean, to girls too. You need to know. You need to get to know the guy before you say yes. I've seen some poor choices in girl decisions. Like they be picking the most. It's always the popular and the smart girls that they pick the most.
Like my type.
The worst guy.
Yeah, like they say, like I guess I don't know if it was back in your guys' day too, but like I don't know if you're old. But like now old. There's some like people are like, oh, that's my type or not my type. But like
you don't know what
like
your type
people
is.
Like a lot of girls, like the typical type for girls is athletic, tall, like 5'7" is nothing. Like you gotta be like 5'10" to 5'10" and up. 5'10" is generous. and you gotta be an athletic person. Like there's never really that type of type of people where it's just like you gotta know what you want to do in life. You gotta have your relationship to Christ like that. No, you never ever in this generation will hear a type. Somebody has a type like that.
You know what that relationship is gonna end up like?
How?
Domestic abuse, domestic violence. You're gonna be stuck with this person and then you can't even get away. I've seen so many of that happen. It's not even funny. Like there's so many examples.
There's so much movies about it too, and TV shows about.
Exactly. Yet
Well,
people
boyfriends hitting girlfriends.
and yet people still chase after the same type of people. Okay, listen, don't do that. Stop right
Yeah.
now.
I
Okay.
am athletic, and I am 6 foot.
Listen, occasionally you will find someone who believes in Jesus, who's athletic, who's attractive, conventionally attractive on all levels, but they don't have to be. That's what I'm talking about. You know, physical is not how you should determine this person is worth being in a relationship or not. The most important determination of this person is worth even being in a relationship with is, do you guys even believe in the same thing? Do you guys even believe in the same world view?
Yeah.
Would you say?
I agree. I think. Okay, so like in my relationships, I've always asked that question, like, do you believe in God, or are you a Christian? And like all of them say yes, and most of them to certain extents.
Oh my
like
God.
some of them I go to church sometimes. My last ex, she don't go to church, but she believes in God. But like it shows how unequally yoked.
There we go.
Yeah.
So someone can say they're a Christian. Okay, this is a Christian dating guy. Okay, someone can say they're Christian, but they don't act like Christians. It's easy. You can easily say someone's Christian, but you have to watch how they act. Not everybody who says they're Christian is a Christian. It's as simple as that. Not everybody says they play video game. They do actually play video games. If you play Mario Kart, you don't really play video games. I'm joking. You can play Mario Kart and.
But like a lot of people say that,
but
they
the concept,
do something just to be liked.
Exactly. So you have to observe. You have to learn. You have to make friends with this person before you even commit to anything.
Mario Kart.
Again, dating is modern. Like we invented dating. Not to say that. I don't know. I don't actually even know. Does that even impact the rate of marriage? Like, successful date, does it impact the marriage rate on people being successfully married?
I think so. Well, I feel like it's less of dating and more of friends. Like you need to. It's different because, like, say you have a relationship problem, the first person that you talk to is one of your friends. So once you get to that level with one of your friends, like say you like a girl, and you decide to become friends first, and you get on that personal level where you tell your friend everything, and then it makes that dating process or that trust and commitment easier because you've known them as a friend. And like a lot of people nowadays also, like when they break up or when the dating doesn't work, like they're super uncomfortable with each other and they're not friends anymore. But like a lot of people do that because they don't know each other on that friend level. So like a lot of relationships will try to be like, or they'll try to break easy, like, oh, we can still be friends. But it never works out like that because you guys don't know each other as friends.
Let me can I take that a step further while you're talking about that? I'm just thinking, before you even think about who's cute and who's not, you probably need to know. I want you to understand why that even exists, right? The relationship exists so that you can. It's actually God made relationship for us to experience life. So it's a bonus. It's a bonus feature of being a human, is to have relationships with another human being, right? And in that relationship, you want to both honor God. That's how God designed the relationship. And then you want to both serve God, serve each other, and serve the people that, is in your life. Again, attractions will exist probably right now in your life. You're probably attracted to someone in your class. Some girls or whatever you see in your class is cute. That's called attraction. But if you think perverted thoughts about that person, then that's called lust. Now, don't pursue anybody just because they look cute and you want to have sex with them. Don't do that.
And don't promote it either.
Yeah, and
Like,
don't promote that.
People in this generation, like now, like, okay, like for girls typically wear crop top or like they want to show skin and wear the short shorts to promote the fact, like, or like look at me kind of way. And then they complain like that
They don't have rights.
but like pervert, like people being pervs or whatever, but then it's what they wear that promotes that, or what guys think.
Exactly.
What guys are gonna think is that if you're wearing that, then you must want us to see it.
Exactly. And guys don't chase after girls like that.
Yeah.
Because you already know they're already. Why is the Taylor Swift song stuck in my head? But you already know they're not up to no good. If they dress a certain way, if they behave a way. This goes both ways, guys and girls.
Saggy
guys and girls. Saggy pants.
Hat sideways.
Yeah.
Vape,
I don't even.
smoke.
Yeah. Don't even. Yeah. Do not even consider that. You're better than this. You're better than this. It's better to be alone. Trust me. From on the other side of so many horrible relationships, now I'm happily married with my wife. You better off be single for a season. And I'm telling you, if you're single, there's so many things you can work on to become a better person for your future spouse, for your future family, for your future kids, right? And devote yourself to that instead of chasing people after girls, or you know, do something more meaningful. Really, read a couple of Bibles, hang out with your bros, go out and play some sports, go home, play some video games, you know, get together with each other, build each other up, try to help figure out how to build a business, how to build a sustainable business, help yourself to make some money.
Do something productive.
Do something productive instead of vaping.
Yeah. People in this generation think sports are only meant for certain people, and vaping is more popular than sports are nowadays. And like, okay, so I find this very odd about our football team. So most football teams they run track to get faster at other sports. Our football team, most of them vape. They don't want to run track, and you know what the reason is? Because they don't want to run. But you know the retarded part about that is that literally track people would know that you run more in football than you will run in track.
And also, doesn't it destroy your lung when you vape? And then your
It
stamina gets
causes
worse and
breathing
worse.
problems and stamina problems. Yep. But yet, people who vape are more attractive than people who want to make a good living for themselves.
Yeah, or
a healthy living.
And then I don't know if it's still the same thing. People who try is normally is not.
Oh my gosh, I find that so weird. That people who are people who try to make a move on people are considered weird.
Or people who try to have better grades or better life.
Yeah, nerds. Apparently now, even people who are in relationships get teased by other people for being so-called simp, for being a good boyfriend or girlfriend. Nowadays, like, what is the point of having a boyfriend and girlfriend if you can't do anything that will show that you love that person? Like now, like in this generation, our high school, like people that are in our school, they don't hold hands. Like, I mean, I hold hands with my girlfriend, like, because I want people to know, like, good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of people they care about what other people think
Yeah.
about their relationship. So like they won't hold hands because they don't want to be called a simp.
Mm-hmm.
They won't play sports. They don't play sports because they want to hang out with each other,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
they want to hang out with each other when there is that alone
Okay.
time
Yeah,
versus
I hear
hanging
you.
out with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I find that very odd how like
Yeah, so
you-
it's kind of the opposite.
yeah
People glorify the opposite.
yeah it's
Okay.
weird.
So on that note, I just had this thought came in my head. You know how when people. Okay, so I don't know how many successful relationships in high school or middle school make it all the way to a marriage.
Oh, very rare. It's very rare.
Statistically, it's just very rare for people who are dating, who like each other, and make it all the way to marriage. Right?
Mhm.
Statistically, it's very low. Not to say that.
It's
I mean,
impossible.
I want to say what I want to say is you probably want to. You probably have a girl you like, but you also got school going on. You probably have chores at home. You probably have all these things going on. If you play sports, you play sports. You have a club, you do club. But if you pursue something, your energy will get taken away from all of those things. That's 100%. You cannot deny that.
Mhm.
It's not a bad thing. That's just the consequences of having a relationship, right? And consequences can be both good or bad, or either one, right? The consequence is neutral. It doesn't mean bad.
Mhm.
If you cannot balance your time well, if you have not learned how to do chores or finish your homework on time, go to class on time, if that is not being figured out yet, I would not recommend you date.
Mhm.
You can have a crush on someone, but you don't have to act on it. You can be a friend with them, but you don't have to necessarily be in a relationship with the person.
A lot of people also think like having a relationship is a distraction. Like when it comes to sports, like not for me, but like for a lot of other people, people say like
Because it depends on
being
the
in a
individual.
relationship- Yeah,
Right?
but like I feel like you should use like if you had a girlfriend, use that as a motivation instead of a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like for me, like I use my girlfriend like that love and passion that I have for her. Like now I want to try my best at everything and show off or do my best 100% at everything so that in her eyes I'm the best at football or
I
something.
mean,
you know what I mean? Like that motivation to keep going.
Yeah,
versus
we
that
can't
distraction.
discount that. That obviously is one of the benefits of being in a relationship because you're
More
more motivated to do certain things. It's just oftentimes when relationship. Okay, who gave me this analogy? I can't remember.
It is though, like when. Well, there was this one analogy that somebody gave me. I think it might be like completely off topic, but it's like, once you try a flavor of a Jolly Rancher or of an Airheads, you try one flavor and you're gonna want to try them all. That kind of means like once you date one girl and say it doesn't go your way, say it does go your way, a lot of times like people in this generation are tempted to try dating other people, or they lose interest and want to try everybody else. I think that's a major flaw in this generation nowadays. Like once they get one relationship, they're like, oh, if I can get in a relationship with her, then I can get in a relationship with her also.
Oh yeah.
Or like,
yeah, that's not good.
yeah, that's not good.
That's not good.
But like, I remember I heard that quote. I forgot who I heard it from, but I feel like that's something that that goes on in high school, college, even after college. But I feel like the main place where that happens is high school. And like a lot of girls and guys think like they call it bodies, I guess you can say. your body count. Yeah, that's what they call it, body count nowadays. And like what? Like as if having more, you get more popularity nowadays for the people that you date, like the amount of people, not like you're in one stable relationship.
Yeah.
It's like
That's just
how
so
much
backwards.
people have you had sex with, or like all of that stuff. Like it's like totally wrong.
Yeah, and again, I know some of the 9-year-olds, 7-year-olds out there be having girlfriends. You know, I just want to say,
Don't.
just stop.
You
You
need to understand it first.
understand. Be friends with this person first. Okay, you're still young. You have a lot of you haven't even experienced in life. You don't know what some of these words mean yet, or you think you do, and then you act on it. It's some of these mistakes. Let me tell you. I'm just saying, you can make a mistake and then learn from your mistakes. That's fine. Like I'm all for making mistakes.
Yeah.
All right, but some of the mistakes, once you make them,
there's no going back.
There's no going back. What you're gonna do when your girlfriend is 7 months pregnant, and then you have no job, you're going to school, you can't even provide. What you're gonna do? What's your only option? Abortion, right?
Or drop out of school.
Yeah. What you gonna do? Just think. Take a second. Envision what's gonna happen.
There's a lot of high schoolers like that though now. Like
especially here on the island. That's a culture.
At our school, there's this one kid on our football team. Like he missed a good chunk of the season because his girlfriend was pregnant.
Oh,
and and then there's this one girl. So there's this one girl, and I knew her from my PE class. Her boyfriend was a senior. She was a freshman. She's a freshman, and she got pregnant. She got pregnant my sophomore year, our sophomore year, and she dropped out of school. Meanwhile, her boyfriend graduated, and it shows like how, as like for a female's point of view, like you had to drop out of school and sacrifice your future for nothing, basically.
Yeah.
For feelings that
for feelings that you couldn't control, the decision that you couldn't even make clearly at one point because you think this person's so hot or cute,
and
right?
you may be happy that at least your boyfriend graduates or your girlfriend graduates, and even if you don't, then it's okay. But then at the same time, it becomes like being equally yoked, caring about each other's future together, and encouraging each other to pursue that future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
The future that they want.
So like what you're doing, I mean, I think in the general sense, I don't recommend people date while they're in high school or middle school. But in rare cases where both people are equally yoked spiritually, first of all, and secondly, you both have a common ground knowing that where this relationship is going. For example, you know that, okay, well, I know this person for 2-3 years already. I know that we're going into the relationship for marriage. And then we have established that not just with you and this person, but also the parents is involved. Now that's a different level. Okay, that's a different level of commitment. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody knows, oh, this is the person I'm gonna marry, right? If you have doubts, don't. That's my best advice. If you have doubts, don't. So, in this rare case where you already know this person that you want to spend life with, you're gonna make this work. You're gonna both work together. So I know you guys do devotions together, right? I mean, you guys are keeping your distance. You guys get to spend time together sometimes at school, but you do keep your distance, which I think it's a wise thing to do. Not the most attractive thing to do to keep distance, but I think it's a great, wise decision. Because you're gonna have your whole life ahead of you to do whatever you want to do later on. Okay, do it the right way in the beginning, like how you're doing it now.
and we gotta plan for it.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want a stable, a very good relationship, you'll plan for it, and you'll find yourself planning for it without trying so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And like what you need to plan for is how are you able to fit this girl or guy into your future while keeping his future and your future plans in the same path. While both of you guys are doing what you guys both want to do, while also being in that relationship and worshiping the Lord and stuff like that.
Now, though you did use the word fit, I do want to make this clear. The less fitting you have to do with this person, the better. Why am I saying that? Again, a lot of times you want to make a relationship work. You're doing God's work. You want to be God at that point. God makes relationship work. God makes things happen in life. I mean, not to say you have a certain amount of control, obviously, to do certain things. But when it comes to a relationship, the less amount of fitting you have to do with each other's future and life, the more compatible you are. Does that make sense? Because God is gonna work it out if this is the person. She ain't going anywhere. You know, if this is the person. The less fitting you have to do with this person, the better, the more compatible you guys are. Obviously, I mean, we can talk about this on and off for like hours. The video is already 41 minutes. Unless people tell us in comments if they like the video, then we can do more conversation longer. I want to wrap it up. I want to kind of bring it back to the beginning, kind of the core, right? The idea behind me sharing this is because I know that I've been there. I've made a lot of mistakes. And now on the other side, I've experienced what true relationship is, what true marriage is like, true love is on the other side. It's fantastic. You have something you can look forward to. Okay? So marriage is fundamentally, I think, what's the word I'm looking for here? Nurturing, nourishing for human being. And being with the right person is gonna change your life. And on the other side, being with the wrong person will ruin your life. Being with the wrong person will ruin your life. Take that to your heart, because I've seen that and it's happening in my life. I've seen it with my family. My parents are an example of that, and your parents are likely an example of that. But if you look at these people, how their marriage is, and then you say, "Oh, I want to be like that. I want a marriage like that." Then start with understanding who Jesus is. Get to know why he has designed human beings for relationship. Learn why he had designed, us needs to be in a relationship with another human being to live on this earth. And there are exceptions. There are people who don't marry. They also make life work, and God also blesses them with their life, right? Marriage is one of the ways that God has blessed us human, how we can experience human life to an extent, but it's not the end goal, right? The end goal is know God. In the meantime, you can spend that life with the person you love. Be cautious, because this is a very important decision that you might be making, or mistake, for your life. And people don't take this seriously enough, especially in schools nowadays, in the society nowadays. I think it's very important. I think it's very important for you to know what is the right way to do it. I'm not anti-dating. I'm not anti-having relationships. But you gotta know what it takes to do it. Like this guy right here, who also have made mistakes, but learned what the right way is to do, right? And having people who's done it, have that example, positive example in your life, someone you can trust to go ask questions, that's crucial. I don't know if you had that in your life, but if you had someone who you can trust to ask those questions, who they already have a successful relationship, right? It's huge.
Mm-hmm. Also, I think you guys need to be friends before you start dating. Like, in a relationship isn't going to last without a friendship. A friendship should be, well, the Lord should be the foundation, and your friendship should be, it should be like that wall, the walls of the relationship. Like, if you're thinking of building a house, your love in the relationship is the roof, I would say, which should be the end product. Without having friendship, you don't know what this person is like.
There's no walls or
yeah,
pillars.
There's no pillars. Yeah. So you're like on a weak foundation. Yeah, you have the Lord in your life, but then you're walking into a relationship blind.
Very good.
And the Lord won't allow you to build a house without walls, without pillars. That's why the roof is flat.
Hey, that's kind of deep. That's kind of good.
That's why the roof is flat. And when you think about it, if a guy or a girl gets rejected and they're not willing to be your friend, then you know where their interest is at, and you don't want to date them.
Amen to that.
Because
that's a bar.
If they're not interested in being your friend, then they're not interested in getting to know you. They're getting interested in the body factor or the physical means. And for a guy, like we all know what that physical thing is, or what guys find attractive physically. And it's something that like guys can't control it. It's just something that happens. It's in a guy's brain. So with that being said, like when you're in a relationship, make sure that you have that friendship first. Me and my girlfriend were friends for so long, like longer than we've been dating. And in that friendship, you learn so much more than you think you would learn. You learn more about each other in a friendship than you will ever learn in a relationship.
That's right.
And that's how that's where trust begins. Trust begins once you're able to trust this person as a friend, then you can trust them in a relationship. And God may take you out of somebody's life, or may take that somebody out of your life for a certain amount of time. That's what happened to me to transform. For me, my girlfriend transferred to another school, which at the time we were not dating. We were friends, and I got rejected, but I didn't mind being friends. And so I dated. I made mistakes, and that's where you grow. You grew, and ultimately, without trying, we ended up coming back together. You know, like the Lord will provide. The Lord will bring two people together to make that purpose.
And in other words, if you suck at dating, if you suck at finding someone to be together, maybe you suck at making friends. Go make some friends first. Go learn how to be someone's friend first before you start thinking about how to be together with someone else.
Yep.
Make sense?
Try new things.
Yeah, and then let me leave this to end the video.
Yeah.
Guys have grown weaker.
Yeah.
Guys don't ask girls out anymore, as far as I know. It's not common. They don't take rejection well. They don't go make efforts to ask girls out anymore.
No, nowadays it's either letter or on social media.
Bro, not even letters. People just be texting. Hey, you want to hang?
You want to hang?
I'm down to hang. And then, okay, you know how like in the old movies, people will go to houses to ask girl out. You have to talk to the parents.
Dad,
you have to ask the dad. Now,
get the mom flowers.
I mean, I didn't grow up in a generation that people who did that, but I I would appreciate. I would appreciate.
I did that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's true. I would appreciate if my kids in the future, if the person who they liked came to me first, asked for my daughter's permission, right? From
Out
me.
of respect.
Out of respect, exactly. If you don't even have the balls to talk to the parents, to talk to the dad, to ask this girl you like out, bruh, don't even
try.
That's a different issue. That's a different issue. Okay? Don't even do that. So have some balls, go make some friends, ask her out. If you get rejected, you get rejected. Be friends with that person. You know?
Who knows?
You don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know what the Lord is gonna do in your life. Make sense?
A whole year later, I didn't see the girl that I'm dating now. Like, we were friends for 2 years, and then she transferred for a whole nother year.
I'm gonna stop recording.